Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. We are going to unpack the anatomy of a seemingly simple digital offer called the fresh traffic system. Now, on the surface, it's just a standard promotional message, right? We literally see dozens of these things every single week. We scroll right past them, or maybe we just click them without a second thought. But as we'll see, there is an entire hidden architectural layer underneath this specific offer. We're going to dissect it together, piece by piece, text by text, and code by code, to figure out how modern digital offers are actually constructed and what's really happening behind the scenes when you interact with them.
Okay, before we even look at the marketing copy itself, I need you to lock this specific number in your head, 1,264. Keep this staggeringly large number in mind as we go through the highly visible, super short parts of this promotion. It's basically the secret ingredient of the source material we're analyzing today. It represents the real, underlying structure of the transaction we're about to witness, even though it's completely invisible to the typical end user.
All right, let's start right at the tip of the iceberg. We're looking at the highly visible, brightly appealing surface text designed to immediately grab your attention. Send your email ad for free to our list. It's clean, it's direct, and it addresses a very specific desire for anyone trying to build a business online, the constant need for traffic and exposure. It's kind of like the digital equivalent of a shiny storefront window with a giant neon sign. This is the bait, and it's carefully crafted to be as frictionless and appealing as possible to the human eye.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the text deliberately capitalizes specific trigger words to create a psychological hook. Free is in all capital letters. You is not only capitalized, but it demands an exclamation point. These aren't just accidental keystrokes from some overcaffeinated marketer. This is highly calculated copywriting. By maximizing the visual impact of these specific words, they're creating a sense of immediate, high-value personal benefit. It totally removes the barrier of financial cost and puts you, the viewer, right at the absolute center of the value proposition.
And it brilliantly builds into the ultimate solution. The text doesn't just offer an action. It explicitly states the desired outcome: get more signups and sales for you. It frames the whole interaction around the exact underlying problem you're trying to solve. They are selling the destination, the final result, not just the vehicle of sending an email. And honestly, it's accomplishing all of this heavy psychological lifting using incredibly few, highly optimized words.
So to push you toward taking immediate action, they carefully anchor this opportunity to a specific chronological event. Tuesday, April 21st, fresh traffic system launches. That adds a vital sense of freshness and urgency to the promotion. It implies that this is a new, completely untapped resource. It suggests that if you act right now, you're getting in on the ground floor of a brand new system. It basically compels you to drop whatever else you're doing and engage before this new opportunity gets saturated or becomes old news.
Okay, remember that number I told you to keep in mind earlier, 1,264? Here's where it comes in, and the crucial point is the massive structural imbalance at play here. The tiny promise on the surface is completely dwarfed by the sheer volume of hidden data attached to it. The visible marketing copy we just analyzed, that totals a mere 31 human-readable words. That's the entire free offer, the promise of sales, and the launch date combined. But hiding right behind it, 1,264 machine-readable characters. That is roughly a 40-to-1 ratio of hidden machine data to visible human text. This stark disparity, that's the true anatomy of the offer. So let's move past the marketing copy and ask the real question. The vital question that takes us beneath the surface of this entire digital interaction. What is actually attached to this free offer? When you look at those 31 enticing words and decide you want to participate, what are you actually pulling along with it? What exactly is hiding in the code right behind that little invitation?
Well, this. And this is literally just the very beginning of the massive opaque string that accompanies the ad. It just goes on and on, totaling exactly 1,264 characters of seemingly random letters, numbers, hyphens, and underscores. Obviously, this isn't meant for human eyes to read or comprehend. It's meant for a server. This massive block represents the digital payload. We're talking unique tracking fingerprints, affiliate routing protocols, granular analytics data, all of it traveling invisibly alongside that incredibly simple short free offer.
If we neutrally observe the composition side by side, we see a really stark contrast. On one side, we have standard English sentence structure, language designed to evoke emotion, build trust, and prompt a human response. It's practically inviting you in with open arms. On the other side, a dense, functional, highly complex alphanumeric sequence designed purely for machine transmission. It is a literal representation of how the modern internet speaks two completely different languages at the exact same time.
And all of this builds to the actual moment of execution. Claim my free email ad. This single call to action acts as the gateway. It's the exact moment where the user accepts the visible 31 words and unknowingly engages the massive data payload. This is the bridge between the human copy and the machine code. When you interact with this text, you aren't just saying yes to an email ad. You are initiating the transfer of those 1,264 characters across the web. This tiny phrase is the trigger that sets the whole unseen data exchange into motion.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on regarding the invisible mechanics of the internet. What is the true cost of free when it carries a 1,264-character digital footprint? As we've seen throughout this explainer, the surface of the web is designed to be totally frictionless and inviting, but directly tethered to those 31 words is an intricate machine dialogue running silently in the background. It's a powerful reminder that online, text is rarely just text. It's almost always a vehicle for data. Thanks so much for joining me to dissect this today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.